She's abroad in China. No, that's it. Realize, shouldn't I realize you're the highest of the high? Hey, how y'all doing? Hey, um, welcome back to Abroad in China. This week's episode is going to be about hygiene, because when I put the poll on Instagram, that's what most people wanted to hear about was how's hygiene and cleanliness and things like that in China. So pretty much, well, first of all, let's establish this. So I do not have a tripod, so I'm holding my phone. I'm holding my phone. See it? Yeah, I am holding my phone. So if it gets a little shaky, I'm sorry. I wanted to shoot in front of my mirror, but I realized that it's lopsided, so I will not be doing that. And I do have this beautiful view behind me. If you can see it, I hope you can. So, let's just take advantage of that and this nice little thing right here. It's okay, it's still a work in progress. But anyways, what's on the docket today? So like I said, we'll be talking about hygiene in China. First and foremost, I think it is necessary to establish that there are definitely cultural differences coming from the US to China. I'm not gonna say that anything is just horrible and it's just so because it's not the case. It's just a different culture, and there are different standards by every culture. I'm sure that when people come to our country for the first time, or when people come to our country to live, they're just like, these folks are nuts. What is wrong with them? So, without any further ado, is that how you say it? I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna stop delaying it and let's just talk. So pretty much, the first thing that you will notice when you actually get to China, gosh, I wish I could just set this up. The first thing that you'll notice when you get to China is, well, outside of the heat and the humidity that makes you feel like you're swimming, is the smell. There are so many different smells in China, but there are going to be some that just kind of punch you in the nose. You'll just be walking and, all of a sudden you'll just kind of smell sewage or rotting flesh. And the rotting flesh primarily comes from, like, the duck sitting in the window or something like that. It smells. And I don't know if I've gotten used to it, but I just kind of ignore it now. But sometimes right here in the area where I walk to the metro station on my way to work, there's this one alleyway, and when it rains, it's so bad. Like, it's horrible. So yeah, that's the smells here of China. But then of course you have those good smells, like the food and the different cultural areas where, like, they'll have, like, different setups and different shops or different displays, and it is what it is. I'm talking fast because I always run out of time. Anyways, so another thing that is it's kind of like an overall thing that I've noticed, is coughing and sneezing just into the air. So I have experienced this back home where people will kind of just, like, cough and sneeze, just and I'm just like, we don't do that. Like, cover your mouth, put your face in your shirt or something. Like, I know growing up, that's one thing that, like, my family drilled into us, like, cover your mouth when you sneeze, when you cough, like, just to make sure that you're being courteous to other people. I'm sure that it does not reduce the spread of germs, because you're obviously coughing on your hand and on other things, and you're still spreading germs, but just to be courteous. Here, it doesn't matter. You about to catch all these germy air puffs coming out of my mouth. You about to catch all this wetness. Achoo! I have been sneezed on by an adult twice. One was like a ricochet sneeze, like he sneezed and it hit someone else, and I caught, like, the backlash of it, and I was so upset, and I really wanted to turn around and say things that I imagined. But two things. For one thing, there are not a lot of English speakers here. If you have someone that speaks English here, it's going to be in a very foreign populated area. So there aren't a lot of people that speak English here, so he wouldn't have known what I was saying anyways. And secondly, you will get locked up if you are disturbing the peace here, especially as a foreigner. And I'm not trying to sit in a Chinese jail. I'm good. So I just minded my business. I grabbed my hand sanitizer real quick, and I kind of lathered myself up, and then I went about my business. So that happens everywhere. If you're in the metro, if you're out in public, I legitimately can walk down the street for about a good 2 hours and get a solid 15 minutes of people coughing and sneezing. I guarantee you I could. And I was thinking about doing that, but I was too lazy, so I didn't. But going into some of the main things that I was told before I even got here by my medical advisor was to avoid the water and to not necessarily avoid the food, but for one thing, in China, it's kind of like a similar situation with like if you go to South America and like they tell you don't drink the water because you'll get really sick. It's the same here. Like, you cannot drink the water. It's pretty much the same thing like when I'm like brushing my teeth. Like I don't rinse my mouth out with the water. Like, I'll either like grab a water bottle, I'll just use my my mouthwash, and I'll just rinse my mouth out. Like, it's like don't even boil don't even boil vegetables with it. Like, don't do that. Use bottled water. And so with the food as well, I think the food kind of goes into another issue that I've seen. Food preparation is mainly the issue. The food is it's cooked well, like there's nothing wrong, but it's the food preparation. It's how it's being made, and it's, for one, starting with hand washing. This is kind of going into something else that I didn't want to touch on just yet, but I'll briefly say it. I don't see soap regularly in bathrooms. I have seen people come out of the bathroom, rinse their hands off real quick, and go. I see that every single day. Like, even if there is soap in the mall that I work in, there is soap. There is an actual soap dispenser, but I've been to several malls where there was no soap at all, and people just walk out and just rinse their little fingers off and go about their little business. So that goes without saying that the food that you are eating probably has those germs on it, especially if it's something cold. Like, if it's something cooked, or maybe like if they have to run it through like some fire or something, like a meat, if they're like fire grilling it, because they do have a lot of that here, like where they'll just like put it in fire. Not that big of a deal, but just be wary of it. So I guess that goes right into the bathroom situation. Wow. So this one is a tough one for me, because in the States, we do have a major issue with bathrooms, both men and women. However, the women's bathroom, for some reason, the public restrooms, always tend to just be horrible. Like, they're rank, they're nasty, they stink, and just all kind of stuff is everywhere, and it's horrible, and I've never understood that. So this is not just China, but I have had my own experiences while being in China, and I'm gonna talk about them. Y'all need to do better. But anyways, so in the bathrooms, outside of there rarely being tissue, the other thing that I've noticed is I think I just said tissue. Outside of there not normally being any soap, there is no tissue. Tissue is not as normal, I would say, as it is in the States. Like how in the States you can walk into any public restroom and find tissue. Even if they're out of tissue, you can just tell someone, hey, y'all are out of tissue, can I get some tissue? It's not the same here. If you go into a bathroom, you need to have your own tissue with you. If you go anywhere, like legitimately, you need to have your own tissue with you. in most restaurants they'll actually include tissue as a fee, like as a separate fee. Like they may charge you like 2 kwai for like a little pack of tissue, like you know, like the little kind of like the little Kleenex packs. I don't have one. I had some. Like the little Kleenex packs, they'll charge you for them, but it's so that you can like wipe your face or something. So like there's no napkins like just, you know, at restaurants or anything like that. It's no, like you have to bring your own. And it gets tricky in the bathroom because there was one night when I first got here, and we all went out. Because in the malls they have everything. Like there are amusement parks and movie theaters and X, Y, and Z. And we went out one night, and I had to go to the bathroom. So I'm running around the mall. Mind you, the mall is 6 floors. So I'm running to each floor trying to find a bathroom with tissue in it. There was no tissue in it. And I had to improvise. Sorry, TMI, I'm not going to tell you what happened, but I did have to improvise. So if you do decide to come to China, make sure you have tissue with you. I actually bought a lot by accident purpose of this kind of tissue. Is coreless. So what I do, I just pop one roll of this because obviously it's a lot. This is a lot of tissue, and it's really big. So yeah, so just pop one of those in your bag and you're fine. Outside of that, let's talk about these squatters. So coming from a Western country, I was not familiar with squatters. I mean, of course, like I had been on YouTube and I had seen them, or like in different movies and stuff, but actually being in a situation where you actually have to use a squatter, like there's you don't have another option. It's very different than having the option of using a Western toilet. So, quick story. At the center that I work in the mall, the center that I work in, I'm in a mall. So, if you walk outside of my center, there is a bathroom. And on one side of the bathroom, they have all the squatter toilets, you know, it's fine. But then there are like 4 different Western toilets, which is really great because, you know, when you're not used to squatters, it can be very difficult to use them for the first time, and it can be very difficult to use them. And so it just kind of looked up that way. However, they tend to lock the Western toilets, and I don't know why. Many a days I've been trying to get to the restroom, and the Western toilets are locked. I don't know if they just don't want people to use them. I don't know. They've been locked. So aside from that, that weird thing where you have to go and track down a janitor, or I think they're called anyis, sorry. The anyis, I'll get it correct, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's been a really interesting situation there. So with the squatters and the Western toilets, I do notice that if all of the squatters are gone, the local people will use the Western toilets. It's just not a preference. However, what they will do in the Western toilets, they'll actually stand on the seat. Like, they'll use the Westerns as squatters. So, you know the little squatting trick that your mama taught you, you know, where you just squat over a toilet, like, you know, just a regular Western toilet? That's what, you know, that is an option that you have, but they stand on the seat. So if you go into a restroom that has a Western in it, there will more than likely be shoe prints and all kind of stuff on the seat. And then the other thing is that I see this a lot with the squatters and the Westerns. People's aim is very bad, so you will more than likely have some sort of residue on the floor. And sometimes it's like behind the toilet, and I just don't get that. I don't know. But they're more often than not, I try to plan like my little restroom breaks like around the time where the anyis go in and clean, because it gets real. I'm not going to tell y'all the other story. Maybe it's a little bit TMI. I'm not going to tell y'all that because it was horrible. Anyways, we got to keep this train going because I'm almost out of time. I think the last thing is just kind of getting back to smell. Um, the smells of China are very different, and the personal hygiene is also very different. Um, I'm not gonna say that it's wrong. I'm not gonna say that it's weird or anything like that. But I would definitely say, more often than not, if you go into a densely populated area and you're able to smell 6 people within your first 50 feet, that's not really a normal thing. However, this is kind of just getting like to the metro. This is anywhere really, because I've been standing by many a people and their BO just like, oh, oh my God. It just caught me by surprise, and like my mouth would be open, like I'll be looking at someone like, yeah, it's bad. So yeah, it's just different. I don't know if people, I don't know. I'm gonna have to get some more information about that. But yeah, Musk is very real here, and it is not popular, but Musk is not popular. Let me not say that. It's very normal for you to smell someone else. Like it's, So outside of that, I think that's gonna be the end of this video. I'm just gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Please, if you enjoy these videos, like, comment, subscribe. I hate saying that, but yeah, do that. If you want to follow my adventures here in Guangzhou, China, of course, if you want to get updated sooner than when I post these videos, because I'm still trying to work out my schedule with it, you can actually follow me on Instagram at abroadin, that's the letter N, China. So yeah, do that. And also, if you want to see something specific, or if you have any comments, if you have any suggestions, you can comment here, or you can also message me at abroad in China on Instagram. And outside of that, I would like for this channel to continue to grow. I would like for my editing skills to continue to grow. I would like for my shooting skills to continue to grow. So just keep supporting. If you have any comments, if you have any suggestions or any helpful tips, that'll kind of help me. I definitely know I need a tripod so that I don't have to hold this phone the entire time. But yeah, so that's gonna be my video, guys. Thanks, peace, love, and prosperity, and all of the balloons. I love ya. Bye.